Periscope. Good. I am trying to. There we go. How are you this morning? Wow, I'm glad to see you. It is December 31st, 2016. Here we are in the last day of December. I'm coming on. It's been a second. So I wanted to just give a little bit of encouragement. I had a conversation with someone yesterday. Seems like I'm always having a conversation before I do a Periscope. But I had a conversation yesterday with someone, and it really, really blessed me, and it got me to thinking as well. And this person that I was speaking with, their 2016 has been a little challenging, and they've had good times and they've had some challenging times too. And they said something to me about 2017, and it got me to thinking about me personally. For those of you that are watching this for the first time, and even my replay viewers who may have never watched me before, I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and I work with individuals and I work with couples who are having significant challenges in their relationships due to sexual addiction, sexual acting out behaviors, or infidelity. And it's been a challenging year for some of the couples that I've worked with, particularly this one individual that I was speaking to on yesterday. And then I had to even look at myself. So I'm going to talk, I'm going to talk from my heart today, because I really want to encourage those that are dealing with wounds, emotional wounds, heart wounds, relationship wounds. Here we are, the last day of 2016, and believe me, I'm not trying to be a downer at all. Not my intention. But I do recognize this. There are so many people that are making plans, for parties to bring in the new year, and it's a time of celebration for them. But there are some people, you all, who are hurting. They've been hurting, not just today. And there are some people who are wondering, what is 2017 going to look like for me? If it looks anything like today, I'm not sure, that I really want to be like, oh, welcome 2017. There are some people who are thinking that way and who are feeling that way. And I want to encourage you, if you find that you today, I want to encourage you. You know what? We all, and I'm not saying this from a cliche-ish point. I'm saying this because, again, in my bio, I say I'm the Real Talk Minister. And I never want to come on Periscope and be phony and try to present to you that my life is like so perfect and that I'm this perfect individual, because God knows I make mistakes. But I do want to say this. If you're hurting today, if by some chance you're like 2017 is coming and I don't know what it's going to be like for me, I don't know, if this is going to be a joyous day, I want to say yes, it will be. It doesn't mean that it'll be a perfect day. I can't promise you that, but I can promise you this: it'll be a good day. It'll be a good day because you will make choices and you will make decisions. Doesn't mean, again, that the hurt is like immediately going to go away. Pardon me. But I'm telling you, with each moment, with each day, with each hour, with each minute that you decide, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to live in this moment. I'm going to live in this day. That's what's going to make it a good day for you. Now, I titled this encouragement for the brokenhearted. So let me go ahead and let me share something with you. This week, okay, this week I experienced like a tremendous heart wound. I did. It rocked me. It just rocked me. It opened up an older wound, you know, that looking at it now, there's still some healing that needed to take place there. But when this wound occurred, I mean, it was like I almost shut down completely. Let me just be real with you. Heart wounds can do that to you sometimes. Let's be real. And it wasn't until yesterday when I had this conversation with this other individual that I really began to look at it for me. And I looked at it from a few perspectives, okay? And just like this individual, this wound rocked me so much that I started to think about 2017. You know, I started to think about some of the things that I had been planning on doing, and some of the things that I wanted to do, some of the things that I was considering doing. And this wound kind of brought all of that to a halt for a minute. Have you ever experienced that? Or maybe you're experiencing that today. You know, here you are, the last day of 2016, and your heart hurts. Your heart hurts. And you're wondering, maybe, well, can I do the things that I have planned? Can I feel like doing them? Yes. And here's why I say yes. Let me get back to this wound. I had to make some decisions. And one of the biggest decision that I had to make was, am I going to let this wound affect me to such a degree that I begin to rethink the things that I want to do, or the things that I said I was going to do for 2017? Am I going to let this wound hurt me or continue to hurt me in such a way that I don't even look forward to the new year? I'm just being honest with you. And I'm saying it again because I had this conversation with someone on yesterday, and I told her, I said, honey, you are not the only one feeling this way. You are not the only one thinking this way, but I want to encourage you. And while I was saying it to her, I was really encouraging myself as well. And so again, I want to come on here today because, again, by chance, you might be someone who needs to hear this. You might be feeling that your relationship has been so wounded that you're not sure, you know, what it's going to bring in the new year. Okay? I'm going to ask you this. What do you want it to bring? What do you want it to bring? If you want it to bring something different, like if you want it to bring joy, or you want it to bring healing, or you want it to be better, what are you going to do about that? Now, yes, in relationship, there are two people, and two people, you know, both have to be willing to do it. You got to ask yourself, are you willing to do it? Are you willing to do it? And so, do what? You might ask. Use me for an example. I had to, you know, like I said, I had to decide, am I going to let this really affect my thoughts? Am I really going to let myself stay in this place of hurt? And I had to say no. To heal from hurt, you have to choose to heal from hurt. You have to choose. Might seem hard, might feel hard because of the emotion, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, you know, the broken trust. Yeah, you're going to feel all of those things. But you can feel something else too. You can. And as I was sharing this yesterday with this individual, I began to chuckle. And I shared with her, I said, as I'm talking to you, recognize that I'm talking to me too. And I guess even with this Periscope, I told you all, I want to come from a place of authenticity, and I want to be real with you, And so I told her, I said, I had to make a decision. I'm not going to choose to let this hurt dictate my heart. I'm not going to do that. And then I had to make another choice or another decision. And it was about me. Am I going to allow myself to be vulnerable with myself? Meaning, am I going to allow myself to say that I've got to do what I've got to do to heal? And in order to heal, it means I had to deal with the situation, had to have some conversations, had to do some thinking, had to do some praying. And then I had to ask God, help me. Really? Because I don't want this to impact my 2017. I don't want this to impact my 2017. Not in a negative way anyway. And I asked God, I said, help me do what I need to do. Help me see what I need to see. Help me, strengthen me, because I got to forgive. I got to forgive. And you all, forgiveness is more than just saying, oh, you know what? I forgive you. Those are words. Because see, you have to walk out forgiveness. And forgiveness is a process. It's not an event. And so I had to choose. I had to make the decision that I wanted to forgive. I had to come to realize that I needed to forgive. And guess what? Yeah, the other person benefits from my forgiveness, but my forgiveness really isn't even for that other individual. The forgiveness is really for me, so that I can continue to move forward and so that I can heal. Because that hurt, that pain, I don't want to walk around with that every day. I don't want to feel that every day. Do you? If you're experiencing a heart wound, what has carrying all of this hurt done for you? How has it helped you? How has it strengthened you? How has it grown you? You all, I want to encourage you today. 2017 is coming quickly. But do you want to carry this hurt the way that you're carrying it now into that new year? I don't want that for you. I don't want that for myself. I definitely don't want it for you. And I know that God doesn't want it for you either. He doesn't want that for you. Now, forgiveness. Let me tell you all. This is what I had to do. Okay? There's an author that I like really, really love. And his name is Lewis B. Smedes. I went and I got this book. Y'all see this book? You might not be able to see it too well because I'm like, okay, no, you can't see it. It's titled Forgive and Forget, Healing the Hurts We Don't Deserve. Forgive and Forget, Healing the Hurts We Don't Deserve. Now, I hear people say, well, you know what? I can forgive you forgetting. Now, I want to say this about forgetting. Forgetting doesn't mean that it's erased from your mind. Okay, not for me anyway. Forgetting means this, that I'm going to forget to bring this up to you. To the individual, that wounded us, to whomever wounded you. Forgetting means I'm going to forget to bring this up to you. I'm going to forget to quote unquote throw it in your face. I'm going to forget to remind you of the time when you did this. I'm going to forget to do that. Because it serves no real purpose. Because if I'm saying I want to forgive, but I'm going to constantly remember, I don't really want to forgive. I don't really want to forgive. So I'm going to forget. And that's a huge part of forgiving. And it's freeing. And you all, yesterday, when I made this decision, I'm going to tell you, I felt like a weight had been lifted off of me. Because honestly, it had. It had. This huge weight had been lifted off of me. Because I made the decision not only to forgive, but to forget that I'm not going to remind this individual. Not going to remind them. And I asked God to help me be accountable to that. And today, you all, I'm smiling more today than I've smiled since this wound. And I got wounded this week, y'all. Wednesday, to be exact. And I cried all day Wednesday. I cried most of the day Thursday. I cried a lot yesterday. But today, you all, not today. Not today. And I want to encourage you with this too. You can experience it. Because you can choose to forgive. Then I had to say, you know, well, what's next for me with this? Because again, earlier, I was really starting to have some really negative thoughts about 2017. I really was. And as I began to do these things, I found my thoughts about 2017 changing. 2017, despite this is going to be a wonderful year. January 1st is going to be a wonderful day. Look, December 31st is a wonderful day, okay? Doesn't mean that everything's great, but it's wonderful. You know, doesn't mean that there aren't some things that have to be worked on, because they do, but it's still wonderful. It is still wonderful. I also began to think about this as I was praying last night, and I was just asking God, I was like, you know what? I know that things happen for a reason. I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in chance. I believe that for me, things in my life, there's a purpose behind them. And as I was just still, and I let, you know, God just begin to talk to me and let me hear his heart. I realized that there's a lot for me to do in 2017. And I know we always say that. You know, I've got a lot to do, and this year is going to be this, and I'm going to do this differently, and I'm going to do that differently. But you all, I had already begun to put some things in place for 2017. And this incident right here was trying to oppose that which I'm embarking on in 2017. Really, it tried to thwart it. Can we say that that was the enemy? I believe that he tried to use it. I do. I do believe that he tried to use this opportunity to accomplish something negative. But I know that no weapon that's formed against me shall prosper. Doesn't mean that the weapons won't form. Doesn't mean that the darts or the arrows won't be thrown. But y'all, I got a shield. I got some armor. And I'm using it. I'm using it. And as God really began to talk to me, and I really began to listen and to contemplate, and y'all, I got my notebook right, or my journal actually, because there were some things that I wanted to share as a result of the things that God was sharing with me. You know, this is an excellent opportunity. It's an excellent opportunity for me to do exactly what I'm doing today, and that's to come on here, and that's to share with you. that's to share with you. Thank you for joining me. I'm not quite sure who you are, so I can't say, welcome, but thank you for joining my scope today. Encouragement. As I let God really begin to talk to me about this, I was getting what I needed to come on here and to share with you today. Okay, your heart hurts. Not minimizing that at all. But I do want to encourage you with this. Do not allow that hurt. Don't allow that hurt to take you to a place where you begin to think that, 2017 isn't going to be a good year. Don't speak that. Don't speak that. Because you will have what you speak. Instead, confuse the enemy. Confuse him. In spite of how I feel. Just because I feel that way right now, in this minute, in this hour, doesn't mean that that's what I'm going to feel all day. Begin to talk to yourself that way. And as you begin to talk to yourself that way, you're going to find yourself making different choices so that you begin to feel different. And God began to ask me, what are you speaking? Not only what's coming out of your mouth, but what are you speaking through your thoughts? So I began to talk to God about that too. And asking him to help me with my thoughts. God, because I've got to think on some other things. And as I did that, I began to think about the things that he was sharing with me and the things that, he has planned for me, the things that he shared thus far for 2017. And you know what? I'm sure there's some things that God hasn't shared yet for this year. And likewise for you. But you know what? Don't allow the hurt. Don't allow the pain to thwart that. Don't allow it to thwart that. Don't allow it to stop. There's so much for you, even in your relationships. Let me be really, really honest again with you all this year. Lord, I'm giving y'all a lot of transparency today, but it's all good because that's why I'm here. This is really what God has called me to do. This is my purpose, and y'all, I'm gonna live it. I'm gonna live it. This year, I had some relationships end. I had some relationships begin. I've had some trouble in relationships this year too. But you know what? I've had good relationships. I've had healthy relationships. I've had relationships that have helped me grow and help others grow. I've had working relationships that have been phenomenal. I've had some working relationships whose season came to an end. And that was okay too. And here's why it was okay. Because it opened up the door for new ones. And so, okay, again, you may be experiencing a heart wound, and yet may be deep. But even in that wound, there are some good things that are going to come out of it. There really are. This wound that I had, something good that came out of it for me last night and even today. Here we are at 10:03 in the morning. One of the things that came out of it for me today, go ahead and turn my car off. Yeah, I've been sitting outside doing my scope because, my family's still resting and I didn't want to interrupt them. But one of the good things that came out of this is the fact that today my heart doesn't hurt as bad. And I'm so grateful to God for that. Doesn't hurt as bad. And even, last night I began to think, look, I went on Facebook. And I've been using Facebook really more so for business purposes. But I went on Facebook. I changed my cover photo. I changed my profile pic to reflect me for 2017. To reflect me for 2017. You know, on my cover picture, pardon me, is a woman, and she's stepping on blocks, things that held her down in 2016. She's stepping over them. Step over your hurt. No, it doesn't mean that you ignore it, but here's the thing. You deal with it and you heal from it. You make that resolve, and she's moving forward. She's not stuck. And you don't have to be stuck. I want to encourage you today. I do. I so want to encourage you. Keep walking. Keep walking. Even throughout today. You know, if you have moments where you begin to think that, oh, the hurt or the wound. Okay, acknowledge it. Don't stay there. Acknowledge it. And keep going forward. It hurts, but it hurts a little less today than it did yesterday. You got to begin to tell yourself that so that you don't stay stuck there. Now, I know that you may be wondering, well, what is tomorrow going to bring? And I want to encourage you with this. Let's just deal with today. Let's get our encouragement for today. Let's get our encouragement for today. Today is December 31st, 2016. And guess what? Today you're one day closer to that wound healing. Today you're one day closer to the pain ending. Now, let me say this. Do you need to forgive? You don't have to do that by yourself. I'm telling you, this is a wonderful book. I'm reading it. Forgive and Forget, Healing the Hurts We Don't Deserve. Because, okay, let's be honest. Some of the heart wounds that we got, no, we didn't deserve them. I'm not excusing them. I'm not excusing the individual or the individuals who perpetuated the hurt. But I am going to say this. If you're holding on to it, you're not hurting them. You're hurting you. And you don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. God doesn't want that for you. Doesn't want that for you. So let's choose to forgive. And remember, I'm not asking you, and forgiveness doesn't even ask you to act like it never happened. But forgiveness does say, if you're going to heal, you can't replay it. So let forget be that I don't replay it. Don't let this emotion, the hurt, the disappointment, the anger, whatever it is, don't let that impact you any more than it already has. Now I want to encourage you to use it. Use it for your benefit. Use it for your good. And here's how you do that. You let it propel you forward. You let it, you let it, in essence, serve the purpose of helping you to make the decision to heal. How? Because I'm not going to feel this way. That's how you do it. You tell that emotion, you know what, you're leaving. You tell disappointment goodbye. You tell rejection so long. You tell betrayal, you know what? You can't live here. My heart wasn't designed for you. Because it wasn't. It wasn't. Now, you may have to make some other decisions too. Are there some things that you need to put in place, like boundaries? Maybe by chance you need to allow someone to help you walk through this healing piece, this journey. Pray. Do you have a friend, a trusted individual whom you can talk to that's going to hold you accountable to the things that you need to do, that's going to listen to you but also speak truth to you? Maybe you need to seek some kind of counseling or coaching. You know, in my coaching, I'm moving to a different place, and I'm getting more specific. And this right here, this experience, oh, you better believe I'm going to use it. Didn't feel good that I had to experience it. But since I did, I'm going to let it be for my good. Since it did, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it to help others. I'm going to use it to encourage others. I mean, y'all, come on, think about it. Here we are nearing 2017. New year, new day. You know how we do. And then this. Oh, the enemy thought he was going to rock me to my core. He thought he was going to stop me. He pushed me forward. He pushed me forward. And this is what I mean by, although it wasn't a good experience, meaning it didn't feel good, you can find some good and make some good come from it. You can. Now, let me say this. Sometimes, and I shared this with the individual on yesterday, because in all honesty, there are some things in her relationship that she needs to do. There are some things that she needs to take responsibility for. And we talked about those things. And we put a plan in place for her to begin to do those things. Number one, like boundaries. I had to do the same thing. I had to set some boundaries for me. I had to recognize there are some things that I need to do different. And there are some things in relationship that must be done different. And so I began to formulate how to have those conversations. And I had them. And I have to hold myself accountable to my part of it and pray for the other individual. That God helps them to do what's necessary, to do what's needed. God helps them. And also that God, would heal them. And so I share that with you too. What are some things that you need to do? Let's begin to do those things. And recognize that you don't have to do them all by yourself. I mean, forgiveness. Again, a lot of people think that forgiveness just means, oh, I say, I forgive you. No, there's so much more to it. Go and get this book. And he has another book too. The Art of Forgiveness by Lewis B. Smedes. And he spells his last name Smedes. The Art of Forgiveness is the other book. Use that. I want to say to you, be encouraged. The emotion that you feel today, you're not always going to feel unless you choose to. And if you can choose to feel it, you can choose to feel another emotion. Today, you all, I can say that my joy is back. I can say my joy is back. I can say my joy is back. And I'm looking forward to today. Am I looking forward to 2017? Yes. But I'm looking forward to today because today is where I am. Today is where I am. And I'm going to make the most of today. I'm going to make the most of this minute. I'm going to make the most of this hour because today is where I am. Today is where I am. So on today, smile. Smile. It takes more energy to frown than it does to smile. Smile. On today, smile. On today, recognize you are worthy enough. You are good enough. You are lovable. You are God's beloved. And okay, your heart may be wounded, but wounded hearts can heal. It's not up to the other individual. It's not their responsibility. It's yours. And it really does begin with a choice. So I want to encourage you today. Choose. Don't allow thoughts. Don't allow the enemy. And don't even allow the things that you may see, because so many people are excited and talking about 2017 and making all of these plans. Don't let that impact you negatively. Don't. Make a plan. If you see that and it begins to tug at you, it begins to tug at your heart, it begins to tug at your emotion, make a plan for that minute. Make a plan for that minute. And for this minute, it could be as simple as, you know what? I'm going to smile. Or I'm going to laugh at whatever it is they're doing. Encouragement. Let's take it one day at a time. So for today, be encouraged. On this 31st day of 2016, let it be a good day. Even if a tear falls, let it be a good day. Because that's one less tear you're going to have to shed. Be encouraged. You're one day closer to your healing. You're one day closer. You're one day closer. Be encouraged.